Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jenna Morton.
And I'm Tosh Taylor. And on today's show, our second last one of the season.
I know. I was just thinking that. It's amazing. We've only got one more to go before we break for summer.
I know. And then into season 6. Holy cow. Anyway, today on the show, we are going to be talking about a really great thing you could do this summer. Actually, we've brought on a special guest. Kerri Gaskin-Fowler is with us today. And Keri is the head of the head when it comes to Coverdale Counselling. I don't know, like you have so many titles that I wasn't exactly sure what title to pull out there. So
Princess for the day. I'll take it.
There you go. Princess for the day. Kerri Gaskin-Fowler is here with us today. Keri, you are with Coverdale Counselling. That is all your business there, and you work in the business of mental health.
I do. I'm a licensed counseling therapist. I'm a trauma specialist, equine certified practitioner, and a somatic bodywork practitioner.
So you can see why. I wasn't sure which one to label there. Today we're going to be talking about a really special event that you're going to be putting on this summer a couple of times, I believe. Mm-hmm. But first, let's let everybody know more about you and all of those amazing titles that you hold.
Oof, okay. I'm a mom. Okay, that's my first job.
Yeah.
I'm a mom. I have 2 amazing kids who are just like, they're spectacular and very cool and interesting. I'm a wife. I'm a homesteader, so we live on a farm with, chickens and horses and dogs and cats. And if I had my way, we'll get some goats too, but hope my husband doesn't watch this. We farm and we enjoy that. So that's kind of like my personal life, what we do. And in my practice, I work with many different people, but largely around trauma. So different kinds of trauma, early childhood, work traumas. I work with a lot of people who are in the medical profession or first responders. And I work with a lot of women in transition in various life stages. New moms, empty nesting, work, career transitions, perimenopause, menopause, a lot of life changes. Yeah. So we do some really cool things there. Talk therapy, which is kind of your traditional, but then we do equine assisted mental health. And that's when I get really excited.
You can tell.
Yeah.
So we work with horses in the practice. People come to the farm and we do the sessions with the horses as equal partners in the therapy session.
Wow.
Yeah, wow's right.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I have been out in the pasture with these horses, and they're just gentle. It's really, I was kind of blown away. Like, you never expect a horse to like come running up to you, but you were out there and you're like, hey, come here. And they're all like, Mom's here.
Let's be clear, food lady.
Okay.
Is here. Food lady is here. But no, it's interesting. And the work with horses is really cool because horses are prey animals, right? They're flight animals. And so they're conditioned to be highly intuitive, to respond to nonverbal messages, to be completely attuned to and aware of their environment at all times. And that's why they're so great with therapy, because they're tuned into us, right? And so many times when we're going to therapy, we're coming to counseling, it's because we're disconnected, we're not in tune. And here's this place where these horses, these incredible, 1,000-pound animals, although some of mine are a little smaller and really cute.
Very cute.
But, these animals are in our presence and they start to reflect some of the stuff that we're experiencing internally because of their hyper-awareness of the environment around them. And it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about how you're kind of melding these things together into something a little bit new this summer.
Yeah, so therapy isn't for everybody, let's be honest, although therapy should be for everybody at some point, right? Even
you just have to find the right match.
Right match, and that's important. That's a really important thing. What we're recognizing, and we see this in clients all the time, is that there's a desperate need for a break, right? And you hear this all the time. We live in a culture of busyness. How are you doing? I'm so busy. How are you doing? I'm so tired. How are things going? I've got so much on my plate. We don't pause. Mm-hmm. We don't practice pausing. And so with my colleague, Keri Elliott of Greystone Counselling here in Moncton, we've designed a mental spa day for women. And it sounds kind of a funny thing, mental spa day, right? So we all go to the spa, or like when we can afford it or when we can make it happen, and you get your pedicure or your manicure, and you have a couple of hours of pampering. We very rarely give that same kind of care and attention to our emotional health and our mental well-being. We just don't do that. We don't take those breaks. We constantly, Jenna and I, we were talking about lists just before the show.
So many lists.
Right? We constantly have those lists running. And part of that is because culturally, rightly or wrongly, not throwing the guys under the bus here, but women carry the emotional load. They carry that labor of the lists, the dental appointments, the Which socks are ouchy?
Isn't that the
Oh
truth?
my goodness. The clothes.
The clothes, right?
Yes. Whose socks are whose and whose shirt is, where's my shirt?
Especially having twins. How do you do
How
that?
do you do that, right?
Holy. Yeah.
Well, when someone figures out, they can come to my house and let me know.
and organize that part for you, right? So we recognize that load is carried primarily by women in households, whether it's single parent households, whatever the mix is, it's largely carried by women. So we've created this day where you can show up. You don't have to bring your list. And we're calling it a mental spa day because we want to take care of your emotional, mental needs. So we're doing that by inviting you to come to the farm in Dawson Settlement. So you're not even far from town. You're 15 minutes from town, but you drive down Pine Glen Road or Hillsborough Road, you turn down Dawson, and then you go down the driveway.
Oh, the driveway.
I have not been, but I have seen photos. And it is iconic,
magic.
the kind of picture that you would buy in a store to put on your wall, to have that long lane with the tree line.
Exactly.
It is. It's
Yeah.
just peace
It's a
from the
switch,
start.
right? You turn down the driveway and you switch off the busy, right? And you come to the barn and you see some chickens. We will keep them penned up for Tosh.
Thank you.
You see the chickens and the horses. There's trees all around and pastures and wildflowers. And immediately we start to, right? We start to breathe. And we know there's a growing body of research around the importance of immersion in nature. People who spend time in nature, even in urban parks, are happier. They have a lower risk of depression. They have higher production of serotonin and dopamine. These are good things, right? So we've created this day to help access that, right? To harness that. So we're doing a full day, 9 to 4, of various pieces in nature. Mindfulness with the horses, expressive arts with Kara Bath. I'm going to do some somatic work and body mapping. We're going to have some journaling, some times to just kind of go off by self and do reflection. And this is really cool, we're really excited about this, we've invited a special guest to be part of our morning. Heather Fraser of Explore Nature's Bounty is coming to do a guided foraging walk in the Wabanaki Forest on our property. So she's going to teach us about the edibles, bunchberries and sarsaparilla and, all those various pieces that you can find in your backyard. And then she's going to have some tasties. Right? So really excited
fun.
about that. And Heather's a really incredible human.
Oh my gosh.
She's so cool.
She's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the background of land management and creating green spaces. So we're excited to have her as part of this as well. Yeah.
Okay. I want to kind of break down session by session. Can we do that?
Sure.
Is
we
that
can kinda-
possible? Yeah.
You're like,
Just
whoa,
keep in
that's a
mind
lot of
how
stuff.
long this is.
Yeah, exactly. The shortness of our show. So let's talk about what you'll be doing with the guests first, because my thought is it group? Is it one-on-one?
Yeah.
Because some people will be nervous in the group session, right? And
Absolutely.
you're not going to this to sit down and talk about all of your problems, right? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It's not therapy.
Right.
It's wellness.
Right.
It's taking care, it's taking that break, it's attending. So it's the same as if you went to a happy hour club, right? You're
Yeah.
connecting with other women. If you went to one of Cindy Como's events, one of her networking lunches, or business professional women, you're networking with other women in a different kind of environment. This is not about networking on a business level. This is about networking on a human connection community level. Right? So we're coming together as a group of women, and a small group. We're keeping this to 16 people. We're coming together as a group of women to connect, to disconnect from the busy so that we can reconnect with self. So it isn't group therapy, it's group conversation.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love that because we're always talking collaboration, things like that happen when you show up at these events. And even if it's not discussing a new business idea, that's not what this is about. But anything to this is how things work for me. Maybe they'll work for you kind of idea. Ooh, I could use that sometimes.
And my practice is really built on those 3 C's, right? Community, connection, compassion.
And coffee.
And always the coffee. You know that.
Counseling.
Always the coffee and counseling.
Yeah.
But the
Like, there's
community,
a lot
the
of Cs.
connection, and the compassion, those pieces are what we want to focus on here. When we come together, we're building community. The more community we have, the greater our connections, the healthier we are, right? Humans are created for connection. We're not built for isolation. If anything told us that, it's the last 3 years. We're not designed to be in isolation. And part of that is having compassion for others, which women are really good at doing. But on this day, on July 8th, we want to turn that inward, turn that lens back, and throw some self-compassion as well.
Isn't that the truth, eh? Like, oh no, I can work harder, I can work smarter, I can work faster. But you take a
Why
break.
can't I do all these
Yeah.
things? Why haven't I, let me do that for you. Yeah. No, it's, yes, very, very much needed. You also mentioned body mapping and somatic work.
Yeah.
I think those are probably words that are fairly new to a lot of listeners and
Absolutely.
watchers. They were words that I was like, maybe I've heard them, but tell us a little
us
bit
about
more
it.
what that
Okay.
means.
So when we talk somatic, we're talking about body, right? So when we're looking at somatic processing or somatic experiencing or just somatic work, we're really looking at where do we feel that in our body, right? So, the therapist 101, and what does that feel like? Okay, we don't do that, right? What we're checking in with is if someone says, I'm watching that horse and I'm getting a little bit of anxiety. Where is that in your body? That's somatic. Where is it?
And then, here.
Right. Jenna's like, I know exactly where it is. Right? It's right here. I've got it. And different people will experience it in different places. And maybe it's like, I'm feeling so peaceful. Okay. Where in the body is that peaceful? I don't know. So we're gonna work on figuring out where it is in the body. There's some really interesting work around trauma that indicates that we hold trauma at a cellular level. And so if we can hold trauma that way, it makes sense that we can hold other emotions and experiences that way. Getting into our bodies allows us to kind of process it in a healthier way, the good, the bad, the ugly. The body mapping is a process of kind of creating body maps using drawing, painting, other art-based techniques to actually visually, I'm a hand talker, visually represent various aspects of our lives, our experience, and the world we live in. So this kind of originated in South Africa as a therapeutic tool for women who were living with HIV. And it started from, I'm just going to think, the Memory Box Project. And it was really just this idea to be self-advocating, right? So if I can look at this drawing of my body that I've made and identify, this is where I feel this, or this is where I have my ancestral connection, then it allows us to speak about it in a different way, to advocate in a different way for our needs, for our experience, for what we really truly need, and being really connected with our bodies in those ways.
Okay. And then we'll move on to the next one with Greystone that is to do with creativity and art. Is that what you said?
Expressive art stuff. So
expressive art.
Yeah.
See, and that's where I would be like, we're done here.
So
Don't ask me to draw.
But it's not, right? So expressive art can be so many different things, right? So we're going to be out with the horses, in the barn, have some canvases, maybe we'll finger paint, right? Maybe we'll collect things on the walk with Heather and create a collage. Maybe it's vision boarding, maybe it's so many different things, and everybody's experience with the expressive arts piece will be different. Everybody's thing will look, some people draw a stick person, like that's about the extent of what I can do, right? But it's really about just allowing yourself to feel the colors, feel the textures. It's really about getting back to a little bit of childhood experience, right? We spend so much time making everything perfect, ticking the boxes, crossing things off the list, making it Pinterest worthy, right? Yeah. Is this going to be on my Insta, stories? What if we just allow things to be messy? What if we allow art to be like what a 5-year-old does and be proud of it and then just explore it and explode the colors and the textures? So that's what expressive arts can be like.
Okay.
Well, yeah, just enjoy the creation
Just
of it,
the
not
process.
the product, but the
The
creation.
staying
right?
inside the
Yeah.
lines kind of thing.
Yeah. Get outside those lines. Go
Yeah.
for it, right? Get messy.
That's very true.
I just still like, this is not my world.
This is where we're going to push a little comfort sometimes.
Tosh might be a little bit anal. And my poor kids, it's so funny. Like when they were learning to draw and whatever, and my husband is the exact same way, and I've been trying to back him off of it, and he's like, that's really great, but you drew outside the lines, and I'm like, shut up, it's fine if she went outside the line. Let it be. We want them to be not like us.
Yeah. So we really want to tap into a little bit of that inner child, right? Where we've spent so much time trying to be in that box, inside those lines, because that's what our culture expects. To have that opportunity to just be wild, be free, lay on the grass and look at the sky and listen to the birds, right? That's what we want to embrace.
We have this discussion all the time in our house about the fact you don't have to be productive. You don't have to have, yes, we have lists of things we want to do, but no one else is judging these lists, and it's okay if your list for the day is to lay on the grass.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the time to just be.
Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, guys.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And that's why we've created a structure around this, because I can say, well, I'm going to go take care of myself today, and then my list interferes, or my phone dings, or my kid needs something, or chicken gets out.
Yeah.
And those things interfere. So we've created this place that's away from your lists, away from your household, away from the city. It's different. And so there's this unstructured structure to the day that allows for that. Well, if right now I just want to lay on the grass and listen to what's happening, then I can do that, and that's okay, right?
Well, and it's telling yourself you have permission to do that, right? Because you've said, oh, I'm going to do this day, you actually allow yourself to break down those walls.
That's
and,
right.
oh yeah, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, if you still have that mental leap to get past.
Get past that,
Like,
that's right. I've committed to this, therefore I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes that's what we need. We need that little bit of personal accountability of, I said I'm going to do this day, and now I'm going to do this day.
Right, and not push through it and treating it like a work day.
No, it's a different thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And allowing yourself to take those moments and just go out and hang out with the horses, who are the cutest little ponies, Jenna. You have to go see them.
Yeah, I can't wait for the chat. They're amazing. And it's so great because, we know that being connected to nature is associated with lower levels of anxiety and depression, with improved mental health, general more happiness. Generally, people are more happy when they get outside in nature. And man, don't we all want to be happier?
Right? I feel like that's an easy answer.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
That's a yes.
Yes.
And you can boost your mood just by walking in nature, just going for like a 10-minute walk in nature, even urban nature, like getting out along the Riverfront Trail or Irish Town or Mapletown. Like we have so many beautiful parks in this area,
yes.
right?
This area is, it's a
amazing.
city, but it's so filled with
green.
nature.
It's
It's
so green.
wonderful.
And
We're very lucky.
that can boost mood. It can generate joy. It can stimulate creativity. Like we need to do more of this, more of getting outside of our computer screens, right? And getting outside.
So now you said that Heather will be coming and doing a walk through your 300 acres.
Not the entire thing.
Not, but I mean the fact that you
We're
even
signing up for a
have,
week.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But the fact that you even have 300 acres is mind blowing because that's incredible.
We're very blessed.
You are,
we
yeah.
so fortunate to be
Yeah,
there.
it is a very beautiful space, and you'll be foraging while you're out there. But let's talk about more food. This is a 9 to 4.
Yes.
So local foods, I assume. I know you're a big supporter of
We
Albert
are.
County and
we
supporting
are.
local.
So we're still kind of massaging the details, but we are committed to providing locally sourced foods as much as possible. Obviously, not the coffee doesn't grow in Albert County, right? But we are, and so we're providing nutrition breaks twice, as well as a light lunch, and just really wanting people to not just to show up, to not have to do the things,
Right.
and at the same time to be supporting locally as much as possible, right? Being committed to that collaboration and community piece.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What do you think you're most excited about for the day and creating these programs?
Yeah. Okay. So I love playing with my ponies. Do you know I love witnessing transformation. Like I get really juiced about witnessing transformation.
Now you're tearing up right
Yeah,
now.
like, it really. When you see someone come in and they're so crunchy when they arrive, right? That's a clinical term.
Crunchy?
Crunchy.
Like scrunched up, like my shoulders
Yeah,
get.
and that's it. Like people arrive and everything's just, they're so crunchy from their life, from their day, from whatever is going on. And to see that moment when things unclench, when the shoulders release, when there's that, reaching out to touch the muzzle of a horse and seeing just that. If that's all someone takes away, I'm okay with that because that's powerful. And so I get excited about those moments. I get excited about those micro moments when someone is sitting beside, when two women are sitting together and they have that moment of connection. And it's got nothing to do with the other 14 women around. It's just this moment of connection. That moment when we're all sitting down and an eagle suddenly just kind of flies over and we're all like, oh. Those are those moments of transformation where we have an experience that's outside of our norm. And I get excited about those things. And in designing these kinds of events, I get to live this every day. I get to experience this. And yes, it's messy sometimes, like you're hauling water in minus 51 this year and freezing your eyelashes on the way to the barn. And that's the hard stuff. But I also get to see the apple trees in full blossom, right? See the fawn laying in the field. See the horses rolling and sleeping and jumping. And I get to see those things every day, and it's so beautiful. And it's so connected, and it's such an important part of our lives that we're no longer accessing, that I get excited if I get to share that with other people. Yeah.
I can imagine there was a big change for you when you took your practice out of town
Yeah.
and brought it down to the farm. You work with a lot of children,
Yeah.
and they get to come down and be with the horses. And for a lot of these kids, probably the first time they've been in contact with a horse.
Yeah, a lot of the adults too, first
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
And it's really cool because therapy's weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, therapy's weird, right? Hey, you don't know me. Tell me everything that's,
True.
dark and kind of crunchy about you. Like, that's strange. And so taking it away from this to, hey, what's going on out there? Let's go for a walk in the woods. Let's take the dogs and go down to the pond and talk. Throw rocks in the pond. Or let's, catch tadpoles while we're talking. It shifts everything. And it creates an opportunity to be open because the pressure's off, right? It's not, sometimes I think people come to therapy and they have a feeling that it's performative. I have to say the right thing,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I have to do it right. And I've actually had people say, am I doing this right? I don't know. There is no right or wrong in therapy. We just show up, right? And so showing up this way takes that need to perform, to do it right, to get a gold star in therapy, because there's no such thing. And it just allows us to be. And it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Wow. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I'm just.
See, I know you're just
I'm
like,
having one of those like, oh, I'm just imagining what she's talking about. This place looks very lovely and wonderful. And
I love my job.
And for a lot of people, it would be the only time that they're getting that little bit of nature
Yeah, for
in
sure.
as well. Like, if you're living, I was just going to call it the concrete jungle. We don't live in New York City.
No, not even close.
And they
No.
still have Central Park. So, but it's that chance to get out and like, this is your, delegated 1 hour a week where I know I'm going to get outside.
Yeah.
So thank you for providing that service for people and this mental spa day, because it's not something we've ever heard of before. And I think it's going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
so tell everyone how they can find out more about it.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways because we do all the socials, right? So you can follow Coverdale Counselling on Facebook, Coverdale Counselling on Instagram, Coverdale CC on the Twitter, Kerri Gaskin on LinkedIn, or Coverdale Counselling on LinkedIn. You can follow Greystone Counselling on Facebook, and you can connect with us there via email, info@coverdalecounselling.ca or info@greystonecounselling.ca, or you can go to Eventbrite and search up Mental Spa Day, and you'll find it there.
Perfect. And buy your tickets, right?
Yeah, you can get tickets.
Yeah.
It's registration. Between now and June 20th, if you use the code EARLYBIRD, you get $40 off your registration.
Sweet.
Ooh, all right.
Early bird, capitals, no spaces. Do it right.
So that's going to expire tomorrow.
20th.
So,
Yes.
This airs on the 19th. So
Yes. The 20th.
tomorrow.
My math.
Yeah.
My math is not mathing.
It's all
We
good.
didn't tell you that, so don't worry.
It's all good.
Perfect. Well, then we'll see you next week, or we'll see you July the 8th on our Mental Spa Day.